Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. Happy Wednesday. Today, we have a very special guest for us, Simon. We're going to introduce you very soon. Simon has been one of our users over the past kind of year. And today, we're going to share how you are creating baskets and using our screeners, and we'll share your approach. But before we do that, let's just look at the disclaimer very quickly. So welcome, Patrick, as well.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome, Simon, also.
Thanks, Patrick.
So Simon, the first thing I would like to do is if you can introduce yourself, tell us what you do, how you came across MenthorQ, how long you've been with us, and then we'll go into your approach on using the screeners.
Sure. So my name is Simon Pulio. I've been in technology and training for most of my career. I really like to manage my own portfolio. After having had medium experience with money managers, I came to the revelation that institutions use support levels, call levels, put levels. They use these levels really to create their positions. And in order to trade with institutions, you really need to understand the levels that are important to them. And they're not necessarily moving averages or different types of indicators that people like to use. And I really made a commitment in the last year and a half to basing more of my trades, almost 80 or 90% of my trades, on either different institutional levels, put levels, or gamma levels in terms of how I construct my portfolio and what I like to trade.
That's good. Yeah, and so how did you come across like MentorQ?
There are only a few providers of this type of data that can provide call and put support levels on charts. And most of them are really expensive and are providing services that are either beyond my needs or just confusing and I didn't understand. And I like a lot of providers provide dark pools and all these things, and it's like way too much for me. And I found that I liked the MenthorQ integrated with TradingView, which is my main charting platform. And then MenthorQ is really generous in that before I even started, they were giving away SPX levels and different levels that I could just play around with, and I found them to be quite compelling and effective for both weekly and intraday positioning. So yeah, I just found it to be really effective. So I decided to sign up and give it a try.
That's good. So I'm gonna share your screen,
Sure.
Simon. And yeah, just walk us through kind of like how you use the tool and especially how you use our screeners, because they're very powerful, but we always come across, how can we use them effectively? And I think you are the best example to show us how to use them.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I use your tool intraday. Today was a great example if anyone's trading on SPY of how MenthorQ levels work. But we're going to talk about really creating more macro collections of equities or ETFs. And you can actually create your own ETF through Fidelity baskets. I'm sure there are other providers, but I like to use Fidelity. It works for me. I first found this idea when I traded in, they were running what was it you were running again this summer?
Yeah, it was the MentorQ Trading Challenge. So
the trading challenge, right? So during the trading challenge, I noticed that Oracle, this was this summer, was trading around this little doji candle here, and I took a position. I didn't win the challenge, but it did give me the idea. It gave me the idea that like, hey, maybe there's something to this, because I really did buy in at the low, and I still actually own a few shares of Oracle, even though we're trading way up here now. So that was where I kind of got the idea that like these scanners that or screeners that MenthorQ gives can really make a difference in my trading. And what I started to do was to put together combinations or baskets, looking for stocks that are at put support at HVOL, looking for stocks that are in the unusual options category, looking for stocks that have a high change in GEX, and to create an equal weight basket with Fidelity. I let Fidelity do all the math. Fidelity actually creates the fractional shares to make it equal weight. So it's something I don't have to do. And then Fidelity actually tracks the status of the portfolio on each ticker. And we're going to get a little bit into that.
And Simon, before we go into, so essentially for those who are not familiar with this type of tool, essentially you are basically adding some shares to a security that becomes your ETFs that you track
Right.
with your account, right?
Right. Yeah. Here's an example of one we'll talk about. I started this ETF almost 10 weeks ago. And the interesting thing about it was that at the time, this was before the China breakout, which you may or may not know, before Wolf was interesting to anybody, before financials, which are breaking out now, were interesting to anybody. See Wells Fargo, before Bitcoin was breaking out. And this was today's total. So you can see how I was able to combine these 6 stocks to create one position that has increased 20%. And the nice thing about it is it's 6 positions, all sharing the risk. All working kind of with each other, if you will, to create a total portfolio. Just a little bit more about my method for managing this. I kind of coined this strategy. If you've heard of rich man, poor man, or rich dad, poor dad type strategy, I'll make an initial trade, maybe $10,000. You could probably get this down to 4 or 5. And then you simply just wait for your basket to increase by a size. I wait for it to increase by 5% or more, and then I'll sell the entire basket and sell 9,500 out of that. And then basically I'm getting all the shares in that basket for half off, if you will. So then I'll use that capital again to then go and purchase another basket and on and on. And I've done this repeatedly over the last 10 weeks. And these are some of real examples from Fidelity of baskets that I put together. All of a sudden I started naming them a lot more clear. So you could see these ones that I created, 1014. I created two different tiers. This is the one that I just showed you that I created about 10 weeks ago. And this is an active one that I just created this week. What I like to do when I create these baskets is put together, to the best that I can, stocks that aren't necessarily highly correlated, although Bank of America may be correlated a little bit with Penn, but you can kind of see or Bank of America and Capital One, kind of similar industries. But I really try to like Coursera is not correlated with Bank of America, completely different industry. Energy Transfer, again, completely different. So I really try to mix these up. And the way that I find these stocks is with the MenthorQ screener, which updates once a day in the evening. And I'll just go through. I'll go through this, I would say, every day, every other day, looking for good values in the put screener. You just click put screener. I like this screen because it tells you right away what the spot price is and then how close that is actually to put support. And then this third line here tells you you can see all the way from it's approaching put support from the bottom of the chart to it's right on top of put support here. And then if you look to the right, you can see the IV rank. And any of the stocks that are basically color coded in green typically have a positive IV and may even have better flow. I picked out one of these to take a look at, ALB. We can take a look at that. Actually, yeah, I have that up now. So we can take a little look at ALB. I actually used MenthorQ so that we could take a look at where put support is. See, it corresponds both put support and put support 0 TD DTE. And we can see that this report came out yesterday. See how cleanly, if I can get this on the screen a little bit better, you could see how cleanly ALB interacted with that put support. It essentially touched it. It traded a little bit below, but then, catapulted right off of it today. And even on the close today, you could see it closed higher than yesterday, and it's even trading up in pre-market. The really cool thing, Fabio, about a stock like ALB trading off put support is that when you look at the big picture, we look at the big picture of ALB. That's the small picture. I mean, ALB, if the IWM starts moving and everybody gets excited about stocks like that again, ALB just has enormous potential, because there's all these trapped shares up here that I'm sure these investors that bought up here at 300 and never sold are just waiting and wanting to do, the stock to go back up to this price. So that's just an example of put support. I can share some other examples unless you had some questions or comments.
A question that I have would be like from the screener, like how do you then narrow down, like when you look at the name on the screener, what type of analysis do you then run? Do you use any other of the models besides the levels? Do you, for example, use the swing trading model as well?
I am guilty that I have not done that.
Okay.
I want to do that. I just have been too busy lately. So I do think like incorporating the swing trader into this would be a really good idea, because what I typically do is, this is another one, COPEX, which I'm very interested in. I'm very interested in this copper one. You see how it bounced right here off put support. I do look at other flow tools to see if there is flow coming in. And I mean, wow, look at this. It touched twice. Like there's obviously buying going on right here in this range. And we could look, or if you're interested, Fabio, we could also look at the swing trader. I would bet that COPEX looks pretty appealing for even a short move here from maybe where we're trading today at 45.80. Even if you just had this a small move, like back up to the 1 day, that'd be incredible, right? I can go through more of these if you like, or if you want to, take this in a different direction, we can go either way.
No, I think it would be great to also see maybe some of the other screeners that you use. You mentioned the gamma change, the unusual activity.
Sure. Gamma. Actually, why don't we do unusual options activity? These ones are really the hot shots of the market. When you look at these unusual, these are all going to be trading unusually, like they said. I wanted to take a look at this one, Victoria's Secret. Is kind of the reason why I want to look at this versus the other ones is because these ASML, Soxel, NVIDIA, something, these are all tech stocks. So these are all trading in unison, right? I know that. KWeb, that's China name. Upstart, that's another tech stock. This is an AI something. But what sticks out to me is this Victoria's Secrets and this Kohl's. Like very different industry, very different than all of these stocks. So I want to see like what's going on with that particular issue, because we're in the holiday season. Who knows? Maybe they have some big plans for I don't know, for their stores or for their business.
Yeah.
And you could see Victoria's Secrets now is touching that 1 day. So something is going on with this. And given that, we've had this giant consolidation period, maybe it's time for this equity to really start moving above this breakout period. So this would be one that I might watch. I might even include it in a basket, because what I like to do in basket is not just put in the put stocks trading at put support, but also stocks that potentially can break out. And when you look at Victoria's Secrets, you not only have this touching the one-day max, but then from a pattern perspective, you could draw this kind of crude triangle pattern. I'm not a huge pattern trader, so do know that that's not my forte. I'm more of a risk trader to say, like, look, if Victoria's Secrets trades over this one-day max, I want to own it. If it trades below $27, I don't want to own it. And that's really more like how I trade on and how I think about stocks in general.
And another question I have, what is your holding period when you create a basket?
Sure. I actually don't hold them very long before I do the rich dad, poor dad trick. I would say I'll hold them for anywhere from 3 to 5 days. Once they begin to become profitable, between 2 and 5%, I will sometimes sell the whole basket depending upon the market condition, take my profit and do it again. And the reason why I can do that is that new tickers are always showing up on put support. New tickers are always showing up in these screeners. And the interesting thing about these new tickers is the new thing that shows up, like ALB that showed up today, may be the next big winner that's like suppressed in the market right now. And that's another reason why this is such a great strategy, is because you're always getting new ideas. They're never the same idea over and over and over again. And that's how the market works, in my opinion. It's constantly shifting into different industries and different themes.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah.
I think you had more stuff to share, or?
Let's see here. I don't have that much more to share. I mean, we can take a look at some of these. I mean, the interesting thing about many of these stocks, silver keeps hitting put support again and again and again. And now silver's hitting, see, silver is in both the put screener, and I think it was also in unusual. Is it here? No, I think it was in here yesterday. So sometimes you see these stocks occur in multiple lists. And when you see that, you know something's going on. SLV, everybody's hoping for the breakout. I think it's just kind of like in traders' minds. So it keeps hitting these scanners over and over and over again. Yeah, I'd say that's all I have. I would just say that these screeners are really useful. I would say for anybody interested in creating a basket, it's very low risk, low stress, because at any point you can decide to sell your entire basket. I've been doing this now for almost 3 months. My biggest drawdown was maybe 5% on a basket, but that's not significant to the way that I trade and to my particular sizing. I'd say sizing, and everybody says it's a personal thing, but if you look at these baskets as a percentage of your portfolio, whether it's 2, 3, 4, 5%, something like that, you can trade in this fashion in a safe manner without taking on risk that will do damage over time. Small wins, Fabio. Small wins.
That's good. And I'm gonna share my screen in a second.
Sure.
But guys, if you have any questions for Simon in the meantime, just feel free to paste them in the comments. I think what you're doing is a really great example of the power of the data. So I think it's great. And I don't know, Patrick, if you have any questions.
Yeah, I have some questions. Of course.
Sure, go for it.
So, what do you really like the most? So if someone is not really using the screamer, so what would be your first step where you should say to the people that this is something where you should be looking for? This is most
Yeah,
of the time a really good setup where it's be
yeah,
really good
I would
point
say
to take.
that the low risk setup is they're all in the put supports to me because it's easy. It's easy for me. What was one in here today? It looks like this might have changed. Oh, here it is. SL or ALB. Let's take a look at ALB again. Is to look at these put supports because we know that all of these are going to be relatively close to that put support, and it enables you, Patrick, and I know you're really big into this, to create your trading plan for that particular equity.
Hmm.
So, I mean, right away, looking at this, I'm able to create my trading plan without using moving averages, without thinking about all this other nonsense. I'm thinking to myself, okay, ALB, I want to buy at that put support. I want to buy in this zone. And if ALB decides that like it doesn't want this zone or above, then I'm simply going to cut the position. And then I can also, I think to your point, Patrick, because I know it's very important to you is risk and reward is that I can help build risk and reward quickly into my trading plan. So I can see like, okay, my risk, if I enter ALB down here, when I found it on the scanner, maybe I'll risk to this GEX point, and then my reward is way up here. So now I'm creating a really nice risk reward without having to mess around with moving averages and all that kind of thing. Like
That's
I
amazing.
know, I know that like ALB, I could take ALB when I want. When do I want to get out of ALB? I want to get out at 101, or I want to like start paying attention. Is this something I want to keep, or maybe I scale out? And then I know if ALB goes below this put support, oh wow, look at this, all the way down here to 89. I mean, that's $10 move. I don't want to stomach that. I don't want to sit there and sit through a $10 down, drawdown on ALB. I want to get this nice move here. So I just created a trading plan for myself, and that's the reason why I really like these screeners, Patrick.
Okay, cool. Yeah, thank you.
We have a couple of questions. I don't know if you can read them here. Do you pay any attention in the change of open interest?
I know I have not. I have not.
Okay. Yeah, that's another screener that we have that shows you basically the change in positioning from one day to the other one. So definitely very useful information as well. Um, and then we have one question here. From the time a ticker is in the screener, how long of an opportunity window have you seen to add?
I would I
Simon,
would for me it's about a day to 2 days. Beyond 2 days it becomes kind of stale.
Mhm.
I recently missed Elf, and I'm really upset about it. Not Elf the movie, Elf the ticker. It looks like I might get another chance though. I saw Elf trading. Elf is so beaten down. They decided they didn't like this high flying makeup stock anymore. And Elf touched this. It touched this line, this $100, and fired the put support screener. And after it hit that screener, it looks like you had 2 days to maybe pick it up there before Elf got back to 116.
Wow.
So it's just a few days. The only time it didn't, Airbnb was another one that was on put support screener. It was on the put support screener forever. I don't know if you remember this. It was sitting here like 20 days. And I did actually take this trade. I took the first leg, not the second leg.
Yeah.
Airbnb just sat there at put support for I don't know, days and days and days, and just I started to get into the position thinking like, okay, well, I'll sell. Back to my discussion with Patrick, it's like, great, if that's put support, that's easy to make my trading plan. Because I know that below here I don't want to own it, and above that put support, I want to own it, and I still have a few shares. But most of them react within 2 days. This Airbnb, I think, was an anomaly.
Nice. And then we have another question.
Yes, that's great.
Have you thought about doing it with options instead of stocks?
I've thought about it, but the way that Fidelity has the baskets, it just makes it super easy for me. And then also options have a lot of risk and require a lot of attention, which I don't have. I don't currently have the ability to give all these different option contracts my attention every day.
So I'm gonna, while we have more questions, Simon, I might be able to add some other stuff that you can maybe incorporate.
Sure.
So if we go back to your Victoria's Secret example, right? Obviously, I don't know much about the latest development in the company, so I have really no idea really what's going on there. But what we can do is we can open up our swing trading model using the ticker VSCO, and we also can open up our 20 days trading model. So if we look at the 5 days, here we have our levels. So we have our lower band at 24, and we have our risk trigger at 28.
Wow.
And then also you can see basically how the bands have perform over time, and you can also see the success rate here. So if you, for example, if you're an option seller and you were to sell every day for the past 37 days options using the lower band, so selling put option using the lower band as your strike, you would have been successful in 89% of the cases.
Wow.
So that gives you an idea of where can the price go and where is also your limit. Because if you're looking at areas where can be my stop loss, that could be a good trigger point. And you can also look at a longer time horizon. So if you look at like 20 days, you also see here that we have a 95%.
Oh, that's excellent. I didn't know that. Yeah, and I love that the risk trigger's up there at 30, because when I look at the chart, it looks like it's just sitting there, right? It looks like it won't go anywhere. It looks like it'll be rejected again.
Yeah, and also always look at the green or red. So for example, if we look at our swing levels on a company that is performing, is on a very strong downtrend, you see like you have a red here, you have an upper band, and you have a kind of like bearish bias. This is Boeing. Right. In this case of Victoria's Secret, we have a lower band and we have a kind of like a bullish bias here.
Right.
So that can also help you confirm your idea. The other thing you can do is also coming into the bot, and now you have the ability to add the swing levels directly into the chart.
Okay, you just made my my life busier, but it's okay. No, I really like this, because it's like offhand, would I ever trade a stock like this? Probably not. But part of it for me is to be uncorrelated with the madness of Apple, Nvidia, and Microsoft and all the big guys, because there's a lot going on in the market that isn't just those seven stocks that you can take advantage of.
Yeah, so that's some additional tools for you.
Excellent.
Okay.
I like the breakout.
All right, let's see if we have more questions, guys. As always, as well, guys, if you create an account, you actually get access to one of the screeners for free, which is the call resistance screener. So you guys can access it through the website. Simply create an account at mentorq.com/free, and you'll be able to access our core resistance screener right here.
Excellent.
And then always, if you have questions, you can reach us at info@mentorq.com. So we're always on Discord. So please, feel free to reach out. Let's see. Are you using previous data? So, actually, that's a good question. So the screeners update by 7 p.m. Eastern. So we look at the closing data for the day. We calculate all our models, and then we run the screeners. So you'll be able to have the list of companies by 7 p.m. or so. So you'll be able to then be ready for the next trading day. Also, if you come in the morning, they'll be updated already, so they'll be there for you.
They really are effective. Like you look at that RCL right there. Like I remember when RCL and CCL, this was like a few weeks ago, were at put support, and now look at it. It's amazing.
Yeah, those crews are always there.
They're not stopping. The only thing another pandemic would stop that. That's
yes.
Amazing.
We have another question. Can you please show more tickers with swing indicators? Sure. If you have a request, actually, maybe we can start. A good one would be like Netflix, for example. So tomorrow we have Netflix earnings. So here we have our levels for today for Netflix. But if we go back into the bot, we can look at the swing levels, 5 days. So what we have here, so we have our lower band, 665.26, our risk trigger, 746. As you can see, we are in a kind of bullish bias from the model. If you look at the success rate, 94% on 37 days. And maybe like I can explain a little what success rate means. So this is a 5 days volatility band. So we are basically looking at where the price could be in 5 days. If the price is above the lower band in 5 days from now, then that considers a success. So if you look at historically, this is what the lower band has been. And I think it was always, the price was always kind of like on a trend direction for the whole duration. So again, the way you can use this as Simon, as a confirmation of your strategy, your basket, but you can also use it if you are selling options or doing spreads and all of that stuff.
Yeah. No, I sell Disney all the time. I probably once a month I sell Disney because it's an easy one.
All right, let's see. Can you show the SPY? Yes, no problem. So we go back here. We do a string, type SPY. Okay, so now SPY, what's interesting here is that we now are at the upper band. And obviously, the data will update today. So this was the data from yesterday. You can also come back here and you can see how things have changed. So for example, there is a shift in SPY from a lower band from the day before yesterday to now an upper band for today. So this is a good way of, hey, maybe something is going on here. So we might want to watch at the data that's coming out tonight and see what's happening at the SPY level. But yeah, this is kind of like the model here. And you can see the success rate right here. We can also do it for 20 days. So here we have our SPY. 600. All right.
Robbie, I have a question for you about the screener.
Yeah.
When we will release this for the futures?
we will work on that. The problem with the future is just really the changing contracts. So it's not like a stock where you have the continuous price. So the rolling is a bit of a problem, but yeah, we will have that on futures as well. Yeah.
Also for the swing trading model?
Yeah, that's the same problem. That the rolling of the contract is a bit of a problem, because the history, like especially if you look at futures that are monthly, it's hard to always keep track of the history. So that's the challenge that we are facing there. But yeah, the team will be working on the model as well for futures.
I mean the swing trading model for the stocks and ETFs on the screener.
I mean, you mean the future? Yeah, the future on the screener, it's a bit easier, but the swing model for future is a bit more challenging, yes. Yeah. It's another good question. When will intraday levels? So we are basically working on intraday data that will come out in November for the Black Friday weekend. So we are basically just over a month away from that. So very excited.
Cool.
Yeah, so for that, we're going to have intraday data, and we're also going to have more integrations with platforms, and hopefully we're going to have the levels already integrated in the chart, so you don't have to actually load them up every day. So let's see.
Wow.
Team is working hard on that.
Awesome.
All right, let's see. Good question, Barlow. Yes, so if we go back here, let's look at this chart again. So success rate means, let's go back on Netflix. So every day you'll receive a new price at the end of the day. That price will be valid for the next 5 trading days. And that's also why, for example, when we put them in the chart and we go on for a period again, you have the date here. So here you have the levels for the last 5 days that are still valid. For us, success, the model is successful if the price stays above the lower band and below the upper band. We don't consider the risk trigger as part of this swing model success rate. You do have the risk trigger success rate up here. And the reason why we don't do that is because the model is also directional. So if we are able to predict the direction, then suddenly the risk trigger will be broken at some point, because if you're able to detect the trend, then obviously the level there will be broken. But we do consider the upper band and the lower band within the success rate of the model. So in this case, we had 7 days where we had an upper band and it was only successful 57% of the time. The lower band was 96, and as a result, the model was 89% successful. Let me know if that answers the question. Is it possible to see historical levels? So right now we are developing an historical API, but if you wanted to see it right now, you could actually do it from Discord. If you go on SPY, for example, you can go back in the history and see all the data every day historically. Yeah.
Do you think IWM will break out? That's my question.
You're waiting for that.
Me and everyone else. If IWM breaks out, it's be insanity. I don't know though. Checked again.
Okay, so I think, Simon, first, I want to really thank you for your time. First, congrats on taking part of the Trading Challenge this summer, being a member with us, and being a power user of the screener. So,
all right. Thanks, Fabio. Thanks, Patrick.
Thank you, Patrick. Thank you, guys, as always. And see you in the next live. Bye, guys.
Sounds good. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.